Zo goed dit.
Very good welcome. It is Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock in Amsterdam. Conscious World Agents, Facebook Live.
Yes.
Here we are again. And thank you for watching our videos. If you watch them later, and we're very happy if people join us. So if you're joining us today, then very warm welcome to you as well. And today our topic is consciousness and truth.
Yes.
Just a light Friday afternoon topic,
Yeah.
I suppose, but we would just like to explore a little, not totally, fully, heavily in depth, perhaps the concept of it, but yeah, just touch upon it and
Yeah. Somebody else is cooking here in this building. It smells wonderful.
so yeah, just had some nice lunch. But yeah, so that's what we would like to do. And if you want to share that conversation, then please add your comments to the conversation. We always like that as well. But before we do, we just want to let you know that we had an amazing weekend.
Absolutely.
Wow, we were just blown away. And I must say, after the weekend was finished, when we started the first module, the first weekend of the 4-Leaf Clover program, I was absolutely speechless. I just had this feeling, and yeah, it was just incredible for me to see the transformation of the level of consciousness of people as well. And I think that really blends in well what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
What happens when you are actually your level of consciousness when that changes or when it expands, perhaps not necessarily changes, but when you become more aware, you start to see and notice what's there more and more. You cannot go back. You cannot go back to the level of consciousness that you were before, and that was really obvious this weekend. And that really touched me. It was really quite transforming, very eye-opening, heart-opening, and it just showed me again that I'm absolutely on my path in this life to share tools that help me and apparently also others to come closer again to the truth, to discover, to take the covers, the layers off that we put on ourselves that are so away from our own truth. So connecting with the big self, just with the big S, not the small ego that we sort of have been living our lives with based on conditioning, but really on the truth within ourselves. So what is that truth? Well, that's what we're going to explore today. What is that level of consciousness that we want to expand, and how do we do that? So, I think you said that you would like to start today.
No, you said you can start. Let's talk the truth here.
Okay.
All right.
That's funny.
Well, it's funny if you talk about the word truth, as if there is always one truth. At the end, when you really go in the higher levels of consciousness, yes, there's only one truth. But in this level where we are, where most people are, it's not about the truth, it's about your truth. And what you see a lot of times in discussions and how we look at situations, we think that our own perception is the truth. And for that, we are not really recognizing the other perception, the perception of the other person. We stay in our truth a lot of times, and at least we stay in our perception, and we think it's the truth. And then we see the conflict, and then we say, no, I'm right, no, you're right, and the other one, no, I'm right. And that's also basically what the subconscious mind wants. It wants to be right now. So you're more or less, when you stay in your perception and you're not willing to change that vision, you're staying it also at a subconscious level, and you say also to yourself, I am right. And you blame then other people a lot of times for how you feel. And why don't they understand this? It's so obvious that. That's, you can recognize it on these kind of remarks.
Yeah.
Once you can let go of this ego-static point of view that you have, then you feel a little bit relief. Okay, I can listen, I can open up a little bit more. And in this opening up, there are more chances that the perceptions of other people can come in. Maybe you are more willing to literally stand on a different, look from a different point of view to the same situation. And that's where you can learn. That's where your own belief system, you can challenge your own belief system there. And then you see that a lot of times what you think is the truth is just your perception and your truth. And every time when you can zoom out more and more and more and more, then you see that most of the things that we think are true, where we really believe, are only a point of view. There's nothing wrong with this, but can you also let go and be open? And I think that's, for me at least, that's one of the most important things, to be truthful to yourself and to others. And if you feel that you are stuck in this, see what's happening with your body at that moment. See how you maybe feel the tension, that maybe you close your arms, all these kind of things, and just look at it. Be aware of what's happening, be aware how you feel, and just ask yourself, is this how I want to feel? Is this how I want to act? And if not, ask then the second question. What I say right now, what I think, is that really true? Is that really true or not? And then at the end, there comes another truth. And within a year, maybe you see another truth, and then you see another truth. And at the end, when we die and when we go to a higher level, then you come probably to the truth. And that is that everything is one. Everything is consciousness. Everything is energy. So we don't have to fight. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to be right. Why you start to laugh?
It's just so funny, like, I don't know why you looked at me, like...
Then maybe you can say it now, something.
Oh, great. Yeah, I think that is so lovely how you explain that in you know, that we want to be right because we sort of start to believe our truth. And I see it in a way that our consciousness is like a sum up of all the experiences that we've had in this life. So that then I have then a belief about it, like you said, a belief system, and based on those experiences, I then put labels on things and they become my truth. And what I've learned over the years, now going to be 57 in a couple of months, it's like, well, a lot of that was no truth at all. And I still feel that we limit ourselves in so many ways by just saying, well, that is my truth. And yeah, I have had some deep meditations around that with some friends who also have explored what is truth in many ceremonies, and yeah, what comes out of the truth then is quite different than what comes out of our rational mind.
Yeah.
And what has it taught me then? It has taught me to stay curious, to stay open, like you were saying.
Beautiful.
Because even our words, they are so limited. Now I'm speaking in English, but my vocabulary is okay, but it's not that huge. If I would be speaking perhaps in my mother tongue, in the Dutch language, I would probably be able to express myself more in a way that would come closer to my truth. However, they are still sort of words, sounds that have made words, and therefore I need to express my truth through the means of the words that I know. So how close do I really come to the truth that I feel within myself, the level of consciousness that I feel within myself? And some would say that consciousness is actually not in this body, it's in the outer body, in the energetic body, and all the sum of those experiences in this life are energetically stored in that energetic body. And that would be my consciousness, a part of my consciousness, the level of consciousness. So my physical body is also an expression, I believe, in a sense of consciousness, in energy. Because I believe consciousness is also energy. So what do I mean with that? It's like if I then limit myself to say, well, this is my truth, and really state this is the truth, then I'm not open anymore, and I just limit that expression of truth through the means that I only possess, which is the words, the language that I use. So, for example, if I'd be learning Sanskrit, I would be probably much more limited in expressing it because I don't speak Sanskrit very well or hardly at all. You know, so the more I know, the more I learn in different ways of expressing the truth, the closer I could probably come to truth, but still it is very limited. So what I also see is that people, like you're saying, this perception is like, this is how I see it, and therefore it must be the truth. What I believe is that the whole of all those truths make up the truth. Yeah, I think when we add them all up and we start to really look at them, what do they really mean, and we come to the more levels like perhaps intuitive truth, sound truth, patterns truth. When we put all the ways of different expressions of truth together, I think that would be when we come as close to what the meaning of truth really is. So yeah, what I like to say is when I don't know if I speak the truth. I really more and more, like I said, when I get older, I go like, I don't know. I just don't know. Because I feel the older I get and the more I meditate, I become more aware of the vastness of experiences, like also in my mind, that I actually don't know what the truth is anymore. What I do feel, there is a feeling that comes with my truth, and that is basically comes close to expressing in the word love. And love meaning like not in the unconditional, I want this from you and then I give you that love, but it's like a love, a presence of love, a kindness, or a just genuinely wanting to give love to the tree, to the cat, to the child in the street that is asking for help, to the elder person that is needing help in the bus, or that wants to sit down, or is that wanting to automatically feed someone who's hungry or who's sick, or that kind of love, and the wish for all those people to be happy and to be healthy and have things in their life that they need. That to me is what I start to understand as truth. And truth with what is in alignment with life, what life is about, and very much in the concept of we are here to thrive. And everything that opposes that, everything that opposes love, that opposes life, for me, is not the truth. So I think once you become more conscious of what being alive on this planet really means, I think you come closer to what the meaning of truth is. So yeah, that's what I really want to share about it. So have you ever contemplated that? So when you say a statement, I believe this is the truth, have you really asked yourself the question, is this real? Is this reality that I'm now voicing here or expressing here? Is that really truth? Is that real? Is that real? And that contemplation on its own, I think, already takes a lot of the edge away of wanting to be right. I think the need to be right is such a limiting concept.
Yeah.
And it kills every conversation. It kills every way of connection with people. It divides us. So I remember from a very young age I was always very curious, and I've learned so much that way in my life, and I feel I still have that. I remember my grandfather from my father's side, he gave me a book once, and it had, I think I was about 8 or 9 then, and he got it at Waterloopplein in Amsterdam, and it says 100 answers to the question why, or 1,000 answers to the question why, and there was all these scientific things in there about the world, and because I was always, but why? Why is this like this? You know, you say it's like, but why is it like that? And I think I still have that, but not in a curiosity way of needing to know so I can be right, but more in a curiosity stance of expansion, like, wow, is that really true? When we start to see the world, or we start to see the multiverse, I think there's a huge difference in that. And then the curiosity never goes away. It only gets bigger, I think.
Yeah.
And the knowledge gets bigger, the understanding gets bigger, the connection gets bigger, I believe. So yeah, that's what I believe is what consciousness and truth, why they're connected and why it's so important. And also then into the energetic body, if our consciousness level is in alignment, then I think there's also truth in there.
Yeah.
We feel when we're out of alignment, we feel when we're not at the right place, we feel when we're in the wrong job, we feel when we're in the wrong relationship, because it's not the truth of our energetic field.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So,
And I like what you say about you feel it. You probably already know it. And for me, finding your own truth is also listening much more to your heart. Because your heart is telling you already what path you can take. Especially when you're not on that path. And it does this by some words or direct intuition, but also by feelings. If you're not on the right path, probably you have a lot of, well, let's call it negative feelings. They're not negative, but they're different. They don't feel well. Like frustration, angerness, anxiety, jealousy, and so on. If you have a lot of these kind of emotions and feelings, the only thing your emotional guidance system is telling you, you're not on your path. And if something makes you really excited, happy, you feel the bliss and you feel the motivation, the inspiration, then that's your path. And there is your truth. And you will find it there. And I like also what you said about the limitations. Staying in your own truth is a limiting belief. Just imagine 100 years ago when the Western science said, this is the truth, it's like this. What if we never had changed that in the last 100 years? Would we ever know about the subatomic world? Would we ever know about energy, particles, waves? Probably not. So, what we now think is the truth, also in Western science, also in all these kind of things, within 50 years, people laugh about it or say, well, that was nice, but it's now different.
Yeah.
And also, that is not the truth. And it will go on and on and on.
Yeah, that's what I meant with like it's a sum of the experiences, a sum of the things we encounter and we examine, and then ask: Is this truthful?
Yeah.
Is this truth,
Yeah.
or is this reality? Is this real? And that sum up of that that I think is what it is about. And then in 100 years on, we have different experiences again. And this is, for example, what I really like in the Eastern traditions, like His Holiness Dalai Lama says, if science, Western science shows that Buddhism is not correct in this way or that way, then we must review this. You know, that's that openness, that's inquisitivity.
It's not dogmatic and rigid.
No. So, and I think that is a good example for our own beliefs as well. You know, is this really true? Because a lot of people just accept without inquiring themselves, and often then there is something inside you that says it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel right.
And that's so nice if you feel that. Also, tell yourself the truth.
Yeah.
Start with telling yourself. Be honest to yourself. Really, be honest to yourself, and the truth will come to you. It's already there then. And if you would love to do something, tell yourself, yes, this is what I really love. And it doesn't matter if people start laughing at you.
Yeah.
If it's really coming from the inside, you feel the inspiration, just do it. Say it and try to do it.
Yeah.
Start somewhere. On the other hand, also, if you say yes but you mean no, how truthful is that?
Yeah.
Say no. No, I'm sorry, I cannot do this. So, if you start to be honest to yourself, the truth within yourself, but also in your surrounding, will be much more clear. Much more clear for you.
Yeah, I would add to that, to not even say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because if you say you're sorry, you're not true to yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're not really sorry.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No. Okay. Yeah. That's true. Oh.
So I would say this is how it is
Yeah.
for me, and it just doesn't feel right for me. And
that's without the attachment of emotion or anger or frustration. Just say it clear.
Yeah.
No, today not. Or yes, this is really what I want to do.
Yeah, I believe that too. That has helped me so far. And if I ever come to a different understanding, and you're interested, I can share you that
And
with you
we're
as
open
well.
also for that. Definitely.
Yeah. So I think that was that for today. And
If you have questions, please ask them about the truth or your truth or perceptions that you have, and also share, if you want, your own experience in this.
yeah, and your own realizations. You know, have there been times in your life that you really were convinced that was the truth? And a really good example, and I think Ratna was watching us as well. Hello, Ratna. You know that, for example, when we start to use the tools like reframing and pre-framing a situation that we really thought that was how it was, we experienced this way, and then we change the situation by, for example, using another word like patience. How would the situation would have been looking different if I had experienced it through the eyes of patience? And then we start to tell ourselves that story. The truth that we had changes previously. So we can see that everything is changing all the time. And I believe if everything is changing all the time, everything is possible. So, you know, don't get too hung up to the truth, because a lot of people say, like in a past situation, they had a fallout with people, for example, and say, well, this is how it was, this is how I experienced it, and it can only be solved that way. Well, can it? Can it be solved in a different way? Have you ever even considered there might be a different outcome?
Mm-hmm.
to your truth. And wow, hear it in so many stories that miracles have happened that way. People have said, wow, I would have never thought about that because we limited ourselves so much. Just stay open, stay curious. And I would like to end with that for my part. Like William Shakespeare said, know thyself and to be true. So in that way, if like you were saying, be true to yourself, and like you said, don't say sorry. Just know what you really want, yourself want, and that is the truth at that moment. And stick with that and express that, but stay open, stay curious, and check in with your energy field. How does it feel? Because you will store it. You will store, I even feel that in the energy part of your body, if you do things that are not connected with your truth, it will manifest in some form, like a dis-ease or something that is not helpful for you. Yeah. So really check in with that.
Yeah, and think about if there was really only one solution for a problem. And that one solution that is the solution that you look at and your perception at the same situation. If there's only that truth, then we would never have any conflicts or confrontations, because then we just do that.
Yeah.
So, because there are always different perceptions and points of view on the same situations, then no one has the truth. We all have a part of this truth. And that's what you said. Combine it. And then you step one step higher, and that's what Einstein said. You cannot solve the issue with the same level of thinking and consciousness where you created it. Step up. Raise your consciousness. Raise your level of energy and frequency.
Very nice. Thank you. And Ratna responded as well. She said, love the reframing, powerful tool. Yeah, it's just phenomenal. If you haven't tried it, try to tell your story and apply a different outlook and see what the outcome will be of that practice. Do it with someone, like someone you really trust, and just tell your story for about a couple of minutes, and then use it. For example, you can use one of the guidelines, the 16 guidelines. If you go onto the 16 guidelines app, you'll find all the 16 guidelines on there through the Foundation for Developing Compassion and Wisdom. And if you use one of these guidelines and then use them as a reframing tool, say, okay, what if I apply this guideline in this particular situation? How would it look different? If you can't really relate to the word, I would say stick a little bit to the word that you've chosen. Yeah. But if you really can't relate, pick another one. And just then retell that story and see what happens. See how you feel afterwards, and see if you can actually go back to the story that you told before. And if that's it, what has become the new truth for you in that moment, and how it can help you to maybe resolve or go a bit closer towards your goal or your dream. So yeah, thank you, Ratna. That's great. Yeah.
So we started this Facebook live session with, not a summary, but that we had our first module of our year program, the 4-leaf clover. Yeah. Go to our website, consciousworldagents.com, and look for the 4-leaf clover. And after the first weekend, we decided to start another one. We won't wait for 1 year. Probably we will start in January or February coming year,
2022.
Yeah, for the next 4-leaf clover program. So just go to the website, read it, and give us a sign if you want to have the signal when we are going to launch the second one.
Yeah. Yes. So thank you so much. It would be wonderful to hear what you think about consciousness and about truth and your experiences. And have you ever indeed changed your truth according to something you encountered? You say, oh my gosh, I really thought it was this way, but then I opened my heart, or I blah, 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 and now I see it this way. It would be wonderful. And if you feel that somebody really benefits, on a Sunday evening we normally share one of these recordings that we've then uploaded on YouTube. So if you want to share that with someone, then please do as well. We just like to give away tools and experiences from others and ourselves that has helped us to become more conscious in our daily lives. And if you feel that's helpful for others, please share the love and the word about conscious world agents. Thank you very much for watching.
Okay, and during this weekend, for as well as the Saturday as the Sunday, at least two times, speak the truth to yourself. Be honest to yourself. See how you feel afterwards.
Yes, to thyself be true, as William Shakespeare said.
Nice.
All right, thanks very much for watching. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, have a great weekend.